Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to celebrate the union of Kokomi and her new artifact set. We've got all your questions answered, we've got everything lined up, so please stick around, it's going to be awesome. Right, to kick things off, we need Masanori as our target and as our test bench. Of course, we are going to use a C6 R5 Triple Crown Kokomi because we want to see what's the max potential of the new artifact set. I've been farming all morning since it came out, and honestly the substats are not looking too great on most of them. It's pretty average, but the crown of Watatsumi, I've got this rolled just into HP all the way since the beginning 5 times. It's absolutely awesome. I assume most people have sort of read the description how the artifact works, but what we will do is we'll be doing a bit of like a detailed investigation, so strap in folks, this is going to be really awesome. The biggest question we all want to know is, does this work when you or your teammates are at full health? And the answer is yes, it actually does. And let me demonstrate it now with Masanori. I think you guys will be surprised. As you can see here, all we're going to do is we're just going to get the bubble, and my entire team is at full health. Even Kokomi is at full health, and as you can see, it works beautifully. I think I'm so happy that MiHoYo have like done this. It definitely makes this artifact set really, really good, especially with Kokomi's E ability. A question we can now ask is, can the artifact set do more than 27k damage? Obviously we can only heal for 30k and 90% of that is 27k, and the answer is yes, because it's only affected by enemy resistance. However, we cannot crit with this artifact set. So let me sort of show you. Here you can see the superconduct, and now we're just going to quickly charge it up, and you should see it right there, 35k on the screen. So it is definitely possible, if you shred the enemy resistance, to do an excess of 27k damage. And I'll just sort of repeat it. As you can see here, it's not a fluke. There you go, there's another 35k. A related question we can ask is, does Hydro Resonance work? And yes, it does. Incoming healing bonuses are indeed counted, so let me show you. So as you can see on screen, I've got like two Hydra members in my party, Shingshu and Kokomi. There you can see we've got the additional incoming healing bonus, and as you guys saw earlier, we got about 9.6k damage just like with like using just the jellyfish. So obviously we expect this now to increase. So let's see by how much this actually increased, and we will just see. There we go, we've got one jellyfish tick, and it's going to pop now. There we go, 11k. So in essence our 9.6 went up to 11k, and that is now the benefits of having an additional Hydro user on the field. That is, your AoE damage increases. Pretty awesome. At this point you might ask me, well look, I've already got a good artifact set, will this new set even be good? And the answer is yes, this new set is a huge power boost. It might feel like you've got like you're doing less damage because of lower HP percentage, you don't have tenacity of the millif, but when you really sort of add it up, it does quite a bit. So I'll sort of showcase it here with Masanori. We'll just wait for him to sort of do his little guard, and after that see how much my Kokomi does. And what I will do is, you'll see if this is now with the new artifact set, how much we're doing, and then I will switch over to my old build, my Hydro damage, tenacity of a millif. You will see how it looks like, and will be able to very clearly see what the difference is. I think from just like what you can see on screen here, despite the fact that we don't have elemental burst up, the artifact set actually helps Kokomi to increase her damage, which is really, really cool. So it feels like you are doing more and more, whereas if you don't have this artifact set, you won't get that benefit. So let me show you my old artifact set here right on screen. Our HP is going to increase from 40k to about 43k. We're going to get the sort of 2-piece bonus from the tenacity set, the Hydro damage bonus. Look at those substats, pretty cool. And now let us see how the two compare. So if you thought like this healing artifact set's not that good, you will see here right now in front of your eyes the big difference it makes. Essentially, Kokomi's damage floor is being raised with the new artifact set, and that makes her off-field utility so much greater. And let's see, and we're just going to wait for him. And now we're going to repeat exactly what we did last time. And of course, we can see bigger numbers now coming out of Kokomi's elemental burst, because we've got obviously a larger HP pool. And it looks impressive if you look at it like this, but look at this now. Unfortunately, we are stuck because we cannot do any additional damage. We have to like wait for our elemental burst. And as you can see here, this is not really going to get us anywhere. Over a sustained period, you will definitely find that the new artifact set can definitely outpower the old artifact set. Alright everyone, so now it's discussion time. We've answered the big questions, so let us just go through a couple of very common questions that people might have and that people might want to ask. So I will be doing this while farming the new artifact set dungeon. Of course, Kokomi will already have all her artifact sets. So let us get into it. The big question is, how big is the radius of the explosion? It's essentially as big as Bakekurage's radius, assuming with Kokomi sort of stationed at the center of it. It's pretty good in AoE. So if you've got lots of enemies like you'll see in this domain, we've got like 5 Rift Hounds. This artifact set is really like amazing, because imagine dealing like about 25 or like you can see there, like 30k damage to each one of these individuals. It is really, really, really strong. So now a related question to that is, well, how does this affect the Moonglow versus Prototype Amber debate? Well, the big thing that you need to know is this artifact set does work with Prototype Amber, so any of the additional HP restorations that you get with Prototype Amber will be counted towards this artifact set's damage output. However, Everlasting Moonglow does give you that extra set stats, like you've got HP percentage, you've got higher attack, you've got more healing. So in essence, while Prototype Amber is good, it is not as good as Moonglow. Moonglow just works a bit better with this artifact set. So I have tested this with a level 90 Prototype Amber as well. So if you are free to play, you can use Prototype Amber. It will still work really, really well. Because of the fact that Hydro Resonance works so well, you don't really need the Prototype Amber, because you can just use your other Hydro user as a battery for Kokomi. So in that sense, you are better off with the Everlasting Moonglow. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, I think we can do like a bit more extensive testing if anyone is indeed curious about that. So some other questions about this artifact set include, well, how long does it take to form a new bubble? Well, typically what happens in Genshin Impact, unless it's stated otherwise, like with Child, if you use an ability, the cooldown starts immediately the moment you sort of press the button, or like the frame after you've pressed the button. So what this means is the moment you get a Seafoam die that appears, that 3.5 second cooldown starts. So there's in essence, theoretically, assuming you can continuously attack, there is about a 0.5 second gap between each of them, which also means ideally when you put down, the moment you put down your Bakekurage, you will be guaranteed 2 jellyfish ticks per Seafoam die. And if you've got like a very strong healing bonus, like I've got with my Kokomi at about 9k, then you are guaranteed about 18k damage, which is really, really strong, and that's really, really good. In essence, what this new set allows Kokomi to do is it sort of moves her out of the pure healer role into more like a bit of like a DPS, like a sub DPS role. And like from a C6 perspective, essentially my Kokomi's got like a C6 Ayaka equivalent type of damage every 10 seconds, which is really quite awesome. Will this artifact set work with Chi-Chi? I don't think it's going to work as nicely. It's not really meant for her, but we'll keep an eye out. I don't think it's going to work that well. Alright everyone, now it's showcase time. How does this new artifact set perform in the Spiral Abyss? Hopefully you guys will see it actually does really, really, really well. And we will of course be covering this in detail on the channel in the coming videos, so please keep an eye out. But let's just sort of see what Kokomi can do. Obviously this is not an optimal speed run, this is more just to sort of showcase what the artifact set does. So now you can see we've got all these enemies, we're getting that 35k resistance rate. You can see it's absolutely awesome. And now we can move on to this enemy here. In the past, you would not have been able to get this far with Kokomi. I've done this like Sparrowbus run like many times, so this is definitely an improvement. And now we can just get the Raiden Shogun to sort of finish up everyone. It's absolutely cool. And then for good measure, just a jellyfish. So it's a pretty strong, especially in AoE comps. It works really well. So let us see what we can do with single target and if it's actually worth it. In my opinion, what you'll see right now is we're obviously going to go again for the superconduct, which is really awesome. There you go. You can see superconduct being triggered. And what's cool about Kokomi right now is with this new artifact set, we are doing enough additional damage for me to get Magukenki to his invulnerability phase. So that means I can now save up my main DPS to take care of Magukenki. Of course, there are different variations you can play. If you want to speedrun, it'll be, of course, a different story. But do note that still in the background, despite the fact that Kokomi is off the field, we still have a bubble that's exploding. We're still healing the Raiden Shogun, and it is just absolutely awesome. It's the value that Kokomi now brings to the table has even skyrocketed, because not only are we just a tank healer and like sort of like off-field hydro enabler, we can actually also now contribute towards the team damage by providing a very consistent floor of damage that goes through, and it stacks very nicely with the electro charge. So it is really awesome. I like it because this is my favorite team for you guys that are on the channel. We love running Kokomi, Raiden, Ayaka and Kujisara, and now we've got the entirety of all their kits working together. It's absolutely awesome to see. Typically with these Ruin Guards, it's hard to like sort of take them out, but with the new artifact set, it just makes it a lot easier for my Kokomi to do so. Again, now we can pop the jellyfish, so even though we are not on field, we are still doing that additional bit of damage, and it can actually affect a couple of breakpoints as well, which is quite awesome to see. The nice thing now about Kokomi is her entire kit, I feel, is now rounded out with the additional AoE damage, and that's really cool. So in conclusion, I really want to thank all of you guys if you've made it this far for watching the video. It is an absolutely amazing artifact set. It's going to help a lot of free-to-play players. It's going to help everyone all the way from C0 to C6, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. It's an absolutely huge buff. I was so happy when I saw how this artifact set work, and yeah, stay safe, have a wonderful day, and thank you once again for watching this video. Cheers.